Mic check. Perfect. I think I'm back now on the mic. Seems to be working. Thank you for the heads up there, Sarf. All right, so the VIX is being crushed on this Friday, guys. Couple things I'm looking at. Perfect. So what's interesting about the CPI report is it came in lighter than expectations, which is kind of a surprise, although it's still high. Like Hassan said, 3 point above 3% doesn't necessarily mean it's a good print, even though it came in lighter than the forecast. I'm still surprised it did come in lighter than the forecast, especially when you consider really for the month of March, give or take, this since we gapped up here, crude would have finished up about 48%. So, I mean, hard to believe that print on the CPI number, but that's what is in front of us, so we will trade what's in front of us. That being said, Peter also brought up a good point yesterday near the end of the day. He says S&P's up 7 days in a row. Today could mark the 8th consecutive green day in a row for the S&P 500. I mean, it's just so fascinating to see how quickly we go from bear market sentiment to bull market sentiment. I do think the markets are getting a little bit extended long in the tooth here. I think we could see a pullback in SPY. We look at SPY, hasn't officially hit the top of this parallel channel yet, but it's coming very close today. And believe it or not, we've almost completed the fulfilled target of this inverse head and shoulders. So um, just be very careful with your longs. I think we could be due for a little bit of pullback. Don't know if it's going to be today, but I don't think it's a bad idea to start maybe nibbling on some shorts. Not a full out, full port short zone, but I think nibbling on some indices shorts makes a little bit of sense here. The only thing that's concerning is obviously the oversold aspect of the market is your software names. Still a lot of big companies that are really, really struggling. So the question is software going to bounce or is it going to keep selling off? Clearly, most of the money has just been flowing right into your semiconductors, SOXX. And the crazy thing about the SOXX upside, guys, is we're almost at 387.50, where I kind of had this really weird inverted head and shoulders upside target. So another strong day for your semiconductors. So USO this morning, guys, is gapping down slightly. You also got the DXY breaking down here. Looks like the Dixie wants to at least go to the daily 200 moving average at 98.50 and probably even a little bit lower from there. What else you got going on? So it does look like the markets could press higher here. VIX is being crushed so far. Gold is kind of flat here on the session. Silver up about 0.6%. BTC, guys, is continuing to grind higher. Chart pattern looks very constructive, like it wants to push. IWM. IWM still beasting. A little bit of a peekaboo breakout yesterday. Looks like they want that gap fill. Pan W, after it had that big cybersecurity pop, pulling back a little bit. Let's look at CrowdStrike. They are seeing some strength in the pre-market just slightly. But once again, your semis are strong, guys. SOX is leading the charge to the upside. That's up 1%. Semiconductors just continue to suck all the liquidity. There's a little bit of weakness in banks. That's what's kind of concerning me a touch. You got Wells Fargo slightly negative while the market's green. You got JP Morgan slightly negative while the market's green in the pre-market. Bank of America slightly negative. So it does look like the QQQ is going to be a little bit of a leader today, which is what you want to be seeing. Look at Corning, GLW just continues its vertical descent. Super impressive. Coherent as well, continuing its vertical ascent. Absolute beast mode. Western Digital. Yep, another strong day, up another few dollars here on the session. Absolutely incredible. SNDK. Let's take a peek. SNDK still in a raging bull market. INTC. Intel, just an absolute monster as well. Man, that buy down there was crazy. You are seeing some extra resiliency in China stocks as the US dollar continues to soften up here. You are seeing these China stocks gaining quite a bit of liquidity. So nice to see that when we bought Alibaba here on Tuesday, it's basically been nothing but upside. Our 130 calls are almost in the money for Alibaba, but this is a stock, guys, that I think breaking out of this wedge pattern. Honestly, I was doing a lot of work last night, and over the coming, I would say, next 6 to 12 months, Alibaba could make a move to about 250 if things shape up. So we're basically right at the low end of that stage 2 cycle. So I'd like to see software bounce today, guys. I think there's a strong chance that IGV, Microsoft, a lot of these names can make a bit of a recovery and rally. Got absolutely hammered over the last couple sessions. Microsoft's trying to set up what potentially could be the start of an inverted head and shoulders here, guys. So we've got a nice defined left shoulder ahead. Maybe this is the right shoulder starting to build. We will certainly see. I still like nuclear uranium, guys. URA back testing support yesterday, bouncing quite nicely. A sector that still looks pretty decent in my opinion. Beautiful back test. Let's look at Micron here. MU could be setting up another bullish continuation move. What's interesting is MU had that fake breakdown below the wedge. Now it's back above that previous breakout trend line. Very strong, just relentless. Crypto stocks, Mara, Coin, MSTR, they're on the near-term precipice of also triggering these very large bullish breakouts. I mean, look at that breakout yesterday on Mara, guys. Crypto is looking strong right now with some of these equities. Coinbase lagging a little bit. Let's look at MSTR. Yeah, MSTR is not bad. Meta has had a monster move over the last few sessions. Big spot here for Meta, guys. Look at the key trend line that we're back testing. This is still technically a bearish pattern. Meta needs to hold price. If it gets rejected off of this zone, it could have a pretty big fall back to the downside, but it's got a lot of news momentum and headlines behind it. It's looking good. Amazon had a ridiculous move yesterday. Seeing a little bit of follow through. Does look like it has a little bit more upside, at least to the trend line, but you would favor at least some sort of consolidation. We'll see. NVIDIA is still looking constructive. NVIDIA is actually looking pretty decent, like it wants to go higher, guys. Let's look at Apple Dapple. Apple's also trying to break out here, and if Apple can clear this kind of resistance pivot, then we have a move back up to about 270-ish. It's looking pretty good. Google, also a beautiful recovery. I think Google can basically push back up to this high pivot resistance. Whether or not it back tests, I think that 311.75 is kind of your back test long level where it bounced yesterday. And that's where your stop loss should be, right at that lower wick. Let's look at Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's just dirty, man. Still holding this massive gap fill. You've back tested now, what, 3 times? So that's the support. Tesla's a long off of this level, and until it breaks it, I think you can short it below. We got 4 minutes here, guys, till the open. So far, the S&P is up slightly. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of additional profit taking. I have a big short level on the Qs around 613.50. 613.50 is the first level, and 614 is another little pivot. Open that up. So we are seeing the US dollar, guys, continuing to soften up here intraday. Basically, it is setting new pre-market lows. It has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours of selling. Sorry, 6 hours of consecutive selling. But it is looking pretty weak here. Almost back testing that daily 200 moving average around 98.50. So there should be a bit of support there. But the Dixie's certainly looking weak. Crude oil right now, basically flat on the session. All right, we got a couple minutes here. We're at 1 minute till the open, guys. Again, I think 68.58 is a shortable level on SPX. SPY at the top of this channel could also see a little bit of a pullback. IGV so far is slightly negative, guys, in the pre-market. Microsoft's flat. Let's get ready to rock and roll. All right, markets are open. Nasty drop for IGV. SPX coming up into that weekly high pivot zone. It's pretty strong today, guys. That's up about 1%. So nuclear stocks could be catching a nice bid here. Keep your eye on nuclear. QQQ running into that 613.50 target, guys. There's a bit of a short trade coming up on your Qs. But markets are trying to push here, looking somewhat decent. Software making a nice move. Microsoft looking bullish today, guys. Breaking out again. Pushing up really hard here. So far, you got a little bit of weakness in financials. Apple struggling. Your Dow is negative. Crude is flat. Nat gas slightly negative. Dixie's down. Yields are green. Gold, silver, green. Bitcoin still green. Qs are leading the charge to the upside. Microsoft's making a big push here. So it's really starting to lift your IGV sector. Looking pretty good. Yeah, Microsoft's moving up quickly here. SoFi making a nice move. USO still down. BABA's up 1.2%, almost to 130. Micron getting slapped here. MU. Snapchat making a nice move. So there is some green shoots across your software stocks, but IGV is still lagging as a whole ETF. Western Digital's rolled over. Interesting. Microsoft's pushing up pretty quickly here, guys. Good to see. Interesting divergence, negative divergence between Microsoft and IGV. Still got a lot of weakness in the ETF. Nike's down 1%. CRM, another down day for CRM. That's filthy, man. Microsoft's trying to push pretty hard here, guys. Pretty hard. IGV, new lows or going for lows. Really weird. QQQ still remaining pretty firm here. IGV down 1.16, but Microsoft pushing up 0.65. So maybe this is the point where we're going to see that leadership take hold from Microsoft. What the hell is that ticker? Whoa, MXQ is down sharply. IREN doing really well. So a lot of the crypto related stocks are pushing. Your VIX is still down 2.1%. A lot of those high betas are pushing. Seems there's a little bit of distribution in semis today. Nvidia is still strong though, so that's holding steady. So your strongest mags right now, Amazon is your strongest of the session, then Meta, then Nvidia. Netflix just turned red. Interesting. Your S&P is coming in, guys, off of that weekly high pivot, 68.40. Microsoft's still trying to chug along here. Good to see. 377.33 is Microsoft's 20-day. Chances are, there's a good chance that we can try to push to that 20-day today. Wow, IGV guys, new lows, just getting absolutely wrecked. My goodness. My goodness gracious me. So it's surprising to see IGV getting annihilated here, despite Microsoft trying to hold steady. Jeez, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. S&P seeing quite a bit of sell side pressure. Oof, IGV is nasty. Damn. So markets are selling a little bit here. We'll see if they can defend. Microsoft's still holding steady. Amazon, Meta is still holding steady. Google, powerful. Apple's trying to go green. So it's an environment where mega cap tech is trying to hold some relative strength. The Russell 2000 IWM has rolled over, guys. Wow, new lows for IGV. CRM down again. Gnarly. Gnarly, gnarly, gnarly. So during the software IGV sell-off, Microsoft's diverging, moving the opposite way. Wow, SIDU up 18%. Filthy beast. Palantir down another 3.6%. Honestly, it might not be bad for some Palantir lottos, guys. PLTR lottos today. That actually looks intriguing. I'm going to take some calls, guys. PLTR upside calls to make a bullish reversal back above the 130. I'm looking at 130 calls on PLTR. Let's see, 0 DTE. All right, they're at 43 cents, guys. I'm taking some. All right, I got filled at 38 cents. PLTR 130 call. Size it appropriately if you're going to play. All right, I am long PLTR, guys. Looking for a potential reversal. It's a very weak chart. Trying to bottom tick name. Software still getting drained. S&P and Qs are starting to come in a touch. Qs are still strong, actually. Palantir still getting smoked here. Gnarly. I mean, it could still flush down all the way to 124.40. That's probably the better level. Swiping those recent lows on PLTR. Wow. That is gnarly. Palantir's nasty. Nasty. AMD still super strong. ServiceNow getting smoked. Down another 4.5%. Marvell's having a good day. Intel's green. Nokia, CoreWeave. I don't know what that is. They're still trying to shake the Palantir tree. Qs are getting rejected pretty sharply here. Microsoft is actually still holding steady, guys. That also might be a bit of a momentum play. Microsoft seems to be holding and diverging from software. So, I mean, there could be a move to 380 on Microsoft, guys. 380. As long as you hold prior day high, which is 373.44, I think we can long Microsoft here. It's showing quite a bit of relative strength, guys. A lot. High risk lotto, 380 calls on Microsoft. They could print too. I do like the price action today. Usually you see Microsoft just get slapped down. 380 calls for end of the day are priced at what? Why is my broker being slow? 28 cents right now? I mean, that's not bad for a little bit of a lotto. I'm positioned heavy in Microsoft, so I'm not really going to do it. But that is a potential lotto trade, guys. All right, Palantir trying to firm up, guys. Come on, calls. Rip it. Rip it, rip it, rip it. Your DXY starting to get a little bit of a bounce here. 10-minute chart. Go, Microsoft, go. Go, Palantir, go. Make that bullish reversal, Palantir. Send it to the top side, baby. Come on. There's actually a mini inverted head and shoulders that triggered yesterday on Microsoft into the end of the day. That inverted head and shoulders should give you a move to about, yeah, 378. Man, there's still a lot of weakness in these software names. IGV is just getting smoked. Fucking Palantir too. Lots of weakness starting to appear. Car, that's down 4.46%. Banks are struggling. IGV down 2. Boeing seeing some sell side. So it seems that money is rotating into your mags, guys. Mega cap tech is definitely leading the charge lately. The Qs are up 0.31 while the Russell's negative and the SPY's lagging but still green. So there's a clear rotation into mags. Majority of all your mags are green except for Apple. Nvidia's powering through. Car is down 6.7% now. Trying to make a move to the downside. New low of day for IGV. That just keeps getting wrecked. Wow. Now Microsoft's starting to come in with IGV. That's wild. All right, this is technically a bullish backtest for Microsoft. 373.44 coming into your prior day high. You could potentially buy it. You could potentially buy it. Dead cat bounce. If it starts to lose prior day high, then it really doesn't look that good. Yeah, 613.50. We came very close to hitting that. 613.51 is my true short level. Starter position up there. But, you know, we pierced 613. What did we hit on the Qs? 613.12, so close enough for government work. And the markets are rejecting off of that right away. So if we look at the Qs here, you can see that 613 area. That's a previous little resistance pivot. And then ultimately it's this previous wide range red bar candle, right? That's where we were shorting into. The only thing about these resistance levels is you still, I mean, it's shocking to see how weak IGV's been, software's been, while the markets have had 7 up days in a row. So I was thinking that maybe software is going to take us a little bit higher, but man, look at them just wreck these. Anything IGV is getting smoked. That's crazy, man. That is wild. CRM just can't catch a bed. That's down now 2.5%. IGV down 2.5%. JP Morgan struggling today. Oof, man. So, all right, guys, it looks like Palantir is not going to try to bounce yet. Does look like it maybe is going to fall a little bit lower here. I was trying to take it for a quick little short-term intraday pop. Still could turn around here since Microsoft is trying to show some relative strength. But it's struggling, man. I'm still going to hold this trade. It's small enough not to really hurt me. Microsoft bouncing off that prior day high, guys, like we discussed. QQQ still trying to grind higher. Interesting. Yeah, the bank stocks are struggling. XLF is down 0.74%. China stocks are still showing their strength. That's at least positive. Come on, PLTR, bounce it. China stocks still look constructive, very strong. They're liking the weaker Dixie. Come on, Palantir. Come on, give us a little bit of a bid, PLTR. We are still seeing IGV continuing to melt lower, giving us new lows on the session. S&P is trying to hold its opening range low. Apple's still struggling while Nvidia's pushing pretty hard. Amazon really strong, up 1.82. Meta's still green. Tesla trying to push higher. Alibaba, Tencent Music, they're acting very well today. QQQ still trying to grind. Yeah, so between 613.51 and 614.02 on the QQQ is a really big resistance. I don't think we would go much higher than that intraday. All right, software continue to get drained now. Microsoft losing that prior day high. Palantir fumbling as well. Natural gas is down 0.85%. Crude oil is slightly green, WTI at least. The Dow is rolling over here. Even some of the leaders over the last few sessions, like Boeing, that's down 1.2. Bank of America has been a leader, that's down 0.65. XLF is struggling immensely, guys, down 1.2%. That's a bit of a problem. Qs are still showing resiliency. So as the S&P is falling here due to financials and staples, your tech market is holding quite resiliently. They do say that the Qs, you want to see the QQQ lead the S&P, and you can see the big divergence. Qs are going up, SPY's going down. So I still like to give tech the benefit of the doubt because it is the heavier weighting across the major indices. But one of the indices are lying, right? Either the Qs are going to come in and get rejected or SPY's going to push back higher here. At some point, that divergence kind of gives way. Silver still slightly green. XLE, XOM struggling here. Nice push on iron, IREN. That's shaking and moving this morning. TME, nice breakout on Tencent Music. A bullish cross on the 4-hour chart of your 7 and 20. Ending the week pretty well. Microsoft struggling. Nvidia is just eating today, up 1.6%. As the market's selling, Nvidia is just eating it up. I can't believe this IGV. I mean, wow, down another 3%, guys. That's crazy. So as the S&P had, what's the last 7 up days in a row, IGV has had 3 down days in a row. That's crazy. And they are just liquidating software right now. Palantir going lower. Here comes the Qs now, guys. QQQ seeing a little bit of sell side pressure. All right, markets are starting to see a bit heavier sell side pressure, guys. Software's rolling over again. You got tech starting to come in quite sharply. Micron rolled over to the dark side. IGV software still getting pummeled, down 3.39%. SPY still slightly green, but showing some weakness. Bitcoin still showing some resiliency. Again, PLTR is still seeing some severe sell side pressure, trying to get a little bit of a bounce off the lows. Still think it has a chance at making a bullish red to green reversal. The market's still actually showing quite a bit of strength in your tech, guys. QQQ holding up. Another day where what's so impressive is basically the Qs have shown us that they don't even need software IGV to stay green. Quite crazy. So again, we're in a structure that eventually the software is going to get a massive reversal, dead cat bounce, buy program, and that would absolutely cause the Qs to short squeeze higher, but truly impressive. Microsoft getting a nice back test of its inverted head and shoulders neckline from yesterday. Nvidia now up 2% on the session. Amazon up 1.72. Meta up 0.6. Tesla up 0.4. Apple still red. IWM still red. Your VIX is still being compressed, guys. Testing that 1912 level down 1.85%. That should add extra. Yeah, it hit the JP Morgan collar. Absolutely. We look at that SPX chart. And this is the thing about JP Morgan, guys. They took the they took 3 legs of the option trade, roughly 60 billion, 20 billion apiece in each of the 3 legs. And right now, 2 out of the 3 legs are bearish, and they're underwater substantially. They're losing on 2 out of their 3 bearish legs, and their bullish leg is their most conservative bet, which would impact their P&L the least. So they basically bought that 6180 put, which is underwater. They sold the 6840 call, which is the worst position. We're already at the 6840 call, so this position is greatly underwater considering they took it down here. And then their more conservative trade was their bullish bet down here where they sold that 5190 put, which is slightly green. But overall, they're getting annihilated on their collar. They are getting smashed. Super interesting. Let's see if we can get any sort of a bounce in software. IGV is still at the lows. It's crazy. Micron's going back to the green side. Small bounce in IGV. CRM still down 3.2. Nasty. Nastiness. So SPY is still bouncing off its opening range levels, acting somewhat well. QQQ still looking constructive. 5-minute chart's a little bit iffy, but the 15-minute chart still looks pretty good. Hourly chart also looks very good for the Qs. YS is saying Trump's world most powerful reset, Truth Social. April 10th, Energy US. Interesting. I don't know what that means. Still got a lot of weakness in your financials today. If we look at the sectors of the market so far, you've got your real estate doing well, technology, XLK doing really well, materials, XLB, that's your strongest sector. That's up 0.85. Financials are your weakest. Staples are pretty weak today. Energy is weak today. Industrials are weak today. Healthcare, XLB, that's down 0.5%. Utilities, consumer discretion, that's showing some positive price action. So a lot of the money that's rotated into financials is seeing a little bit of selling, and that's rotating what appears to be into your tech, real estate, and materials sector as of today. Palantir, still no love. IGV is trying to get a little bit of a bounce here. Microsoft is still underneath its prior day high. If Microsoft can get above that prior day high, it could start to get a little bit more buy side pressure to that 378 level. What else? Uranium, guys, still doing really well. URA is pushing, going for a new high a day right now. So keep your eye on nuclear. They are showing some strength. At least uranium is. It's up 1.8%. Still a very, very positive commodity to, I think, nibble on the long side. If we look at this Microsoft 10-minute chart, guys, you can see that it triggered this inverted head and shoulders. It's a very sloppy one, small left shoulder, but it's back to the neckline, and it is holding for now. So it's looking pretty positive. The upside target takes us to about 378.30. You want to see it get above pre-market low here. So it's sitting right on that kind of 373 zone. IGV is trying to firm up slightly. Still no love for Palantir. What are we doing? Microsoft's trying to push. All right, Microsoft is a long right here, guys, above that prior or pre-market low. For a little bit of a scalp, you can trade on the long side, keep your stop tight. If it gets rejected back underneath that pre-market low on, say, a 10-minute candle close, then the weakness and sell side pressure can continue. We do have some data coming out, guys. 10 a.m. data. We got some inflation data. The Michigan 1 and 5 year, I believe, is coming out in 1 minute. So today we got cool CPI, that 1 year, 5 year inflation, and the consumer sentiment, and the factory orders for February could influence the market here. Yields, dollar specifically. All right, so far, what are we seeing? Small uptick in your yields off the print. Michigan 1-year inflation expectations coming in at 4.8%, 5-year 3.4. Factory orders are flat. Forecast was for factory orders to decline by 0.3%, coming in flat. Mixed data so far. You had see a little bit of an uptick in the yields. Obviously, the S&P got slapped right there. Slightly minimal movement in the dollar. Didn't really influence the Dixie, which is a positive sign. Crude oil is still slightly green. Microsoft and software trying to gain a little bit of a push. MSFT is back to the green side. That one's not looking too bad. Nvidia giving up a little bit of its gains, so the Qs are seeing some selling, but you still have strength in Meta, Amazon, Microsoft turning positive again. Your Russell still remains weak, and SPY is kind of flat. But Qs are starting to roll over here a little bit as your semiconductors are seeing some sell side pressure. And the big thing I want to see is if semis sell, does the whole market sell off, or does that money rotate into software? That's the big question, right? The ratio between IGV to SOX or IGV to SMH, IGV to Qs, it's crazy. Your S&P is starting to roll over here. All right, SPY has about to go negative. Your US dollar is getting rejected off of its prior day low and its opening range, so that's still looking pretty bearish, the US Dixie, guys. No love for Palantir. Micron's down 0.6. China stocks are still acting well. BABA up 1.3, TME up 2. So that's emphasizing the weak US dollar today. Crude oil starting to get some selling off the 91.60 area. Uranium, guys, up almost 2% on the session, trying to break out here on the daily chart. Again, yesterday's high pivot on URA was roughly, what, 52.76, and that's looking strong. Looking very, very strong. Look at that beautiful inverse head and shoulders, guys, on uranium. Flat top necklines are generally the more powerful ones, and you can see you've broken out. So any back test of this neckline on URA can be bought. We should have an upside move to about 53 and change. It's looking very strong. Still no love for Palantir. IGV still down 3%. Microsoft back to the red. CAR is down almost 8%. Happy to see that one coming in. Your US dollar is still pretty weak. All right, softwares continue to get drained here. Palantir going for new lows. IGV still pretty weak. IREN having a great day. Silver making a nice push. Silver's liking the weaker dollar. Big bounce on SPY right off that opening range. QQQ, small sell signal on the 5-minute chart of Qs. 15-minute chart as well. Hourly chart is mixed. 4-hour chart. Yeah, you got a nice sell on the 4-hour too. Hmm. Crude oil, WTI is slightly negative. WTI, guys, is getting a little bit of a sell program on your 10-minute chart. That could help the indices if crude oil starts to weaken again. If crude oil weakens back down to the 90.50 area, that's its pre-market low, we should see probably the markets retest their highs. But if crude oil starts to get above its opening range high, which is 91.97, then things can get a little bit dicey again. Remember, it is VIX Crush Friday, and you can see that even with the small pullback that we just saw in the major indices, the VIX is still continually grinding at its lows. So this is what also adds extra fuel to the fire for potentially more upside, right? This VIX keeps getting crushed. It is coming up into a 1-year moving average on the daily chart, but they keep selling this VIX, which gives us the ability to push higher. Cypher doing really well today. SMCI, stellar day, up over 5.34%. Wow. UNH is green. STZ is green. Tempest AI. Rocket Labs, good day. Rigetti, Quantum's seeing some money flow. All right, crude oil is trying to push through its opening range high. Bit of a problem as WTI is now up 0.25%. That's going to put some downside pressure on the tape. You can see it right away. Palantir new lows. SPY retesting that opening range low. Let's look at this QQQ chart here. Qs are almost gapping and cracking, getting rejected pretty sharply off that 613 level. We're seeing IGV continuing to sell, Microsoft coming in, crude oil trying to bust through its opening range high. Yeah, uranium stocks are doing really well today. URA up 2%, UUU that's up 5%, SMR up 2.2. Copper's seeing some resiliency today. Bitcoin's still holding quite steady. That's up 1%. BTC is showing some strength here. Looking at BTC, it's going for potentially a new high of day push. You can see it's grinding higher. What's really crazy is Bitcoin and software had a huge correlation, and over the recent sessions, BTC has been pushing higher while software's been falling, kind of diverging from that correlation that we've seen over the last several months. So one of them is lying. It looks like one of them is lying. Wow, Palantir's still getting absolutely crushed. IGV at the lows. Nastiness. Still trying to grind slightly higher, guys. Troublesome. QQQ seeing a little bit more sell side pressure. SPY's starting to come in as well. SPY and Qs are closing that divergence gap. So Qs are performing much better than SPY, but as energy starting to push higher here. Excuse me. He's still trying to hold that opening range level. Markets are still trying to hold a little bit of selling on WTI crude off that opening range high level. So the market's right away reacting. It's literally almost tick for tick, guys, crude oil and S&P. Tick for tick. Literally, we just saw a little bit of a rejection on oil and market right away got that buy program. So still seeing such a heavy correlation with crude oil. Microsoft trying to recapture its pre-market low and trying to go green. Again, they often say the leaders of an ETF will start to bottom first. And honestly, over the last couple sessions, what we have seen, IGV just getting annihilated while Microsoft is trying to push. Look at that big buy program coming back into the tape. So I still think we're getting probably pretty close to a little bit of a bottom in software with Microsoft trying to lead the charge here. It's trying. Microsoft big push. It's back to the green side, going through its prior day high. Software is trying to find a little bit of a bottom. Palantir getting a buy program, still down heavy, but big buy program in the markets, guys. Crude oil, hard rejection. Now back to the dark side, down 0.22%, coming into its opening range low. US dollar also looking pretty weak, like it wants to fall even more. China stocks still should see some more upside. Big buy program, guys. Huge. They're ripping. Yeah, I still think it has a chance. Again, Microsoft is showing, probably I'm saying IGV losing long-term support. If it doesn't bounce today, that's bad. Yeah, it is bad. But again, Microsoft is trying to show some relative strength in comparison to IGV. So usually when one of the biggest weightings and probably the most important stock in the ETF starts to bottom and diverge, you know you're getting close. There's obviously some crappier software stocks in IGV that may not firm up. So it's a tricky ETF because there are some companies in there that I don't like in IGV. It's quite a few. They're much smaller on the weightings. And remember, I mean, Palantir has been smoked. So Palantir's kind of had a disastrous few days because it's a software stock, so it's got that underlying weakness, but it's also a war stock. So, I mean, with the ceasefire, you got that premium being priced out of it, plus it's software. So, I mean, yeah, it's just troublesome, but it's trying. Microsoft pushing for 374. USO, guys, is down 1.25%. S&P still looking pretty strong, guys. WTI is sitting right on its opening range low candle. So if it loses that, we have a nice flush to 90.50, and that would probably press the S&P and Qs to a new high of day. Come on, Microsoft. You know you want to press higher. Go, baby, go. Still a pretty mixed tape. The IWM is still negative. Dow is still negative, while your QQQ is leading. Nvidia up 1.82. Apple's made a really big bullish reversal. That's now up 0.4%. Google up 0.2. Microsoft up 0.23. Amazon absolutely flying. That's up 2.5%. Meta showing some strength today as well. Up 0.8. Tesla's up 0.5%. Yep, I think Microsoft will lead it out. It's showing a big divergence over the last 2 days. You know, even yesterday, Microsoft had that big fall and then it got bought up into the end of the day. It showed a little bit more relative strength than IGV. Um, Big buy program I'm getting a buy signal on Microsoft 10 minute, 20 minute, hourly, 30 minute. So it should have more upside. Software though, IGV still looks like crap. Crude oil losing that opening range low, guys, so that's very bullish for the tape. Like I said, if you lose that opening range low, you're going to flush down to pre-market low, which is 90.50, and that would push the market to new high of day, which looks like we are getting very close on your S&P 500. Even the IWM is trying to claw back right now. Ooh, look at Bitcoin, guys. That's ripping up 1.39%. Again, another software signal that perhaps software is getting closer. Very correlated. Software and crypto. Huge correlation. QQQ. Still a lot of resistance off that 613, but ultimately I was looking for 613.50 on the Qs and 614.01 before we need a back and fill. I'd still like to see the Qs fill this gap up here. And remember, this inverted head and shoulders, which seems like a million days ago, which was only 3 days ago, could still give us upside to 626. Not today, though. Definitely not today. Unless crude oil fell like 10%. Our US dollar, new low of day, guys. So gold, silver, love and life today. Liking the weak Dixie. China stocks are probably also going to like that. Crypto stocks are loving that. Rocket Labs, that's back to 68. A little bit of accumulation in Archer Aviation, Joby, eVTOL stocks. And they're still crushing this VIX, guys. Sub 19. The VIX is continuing to melt a little bit. Yeah, you know what's weird? I was looking at that coin chart, and honestly, when I looked through this morning through all the crypto-related stocks, coin looked like trash. Mara looked really good based off of an inverted head and shoulders breakout here. So you can see Mara is probably one of the better looking crypto charts. But yeah, coin looked like trash. MSTR was mixed. Hadn't really given us that breakout signal like Mara. Let's look at BitDeer. Oh no, it's BTDR. I always get the ticker wrong. BTDR. Yeah, BTDR is not looking too bad here. That's pushing. So between Mara, BitDeer, they're looking pretty good, but Coin and MSTR are struggling still. Can't remember. I have to double check, but Coin I think is in the IGV basket, but it's a very small weighting. I know Marathon Digital is MARA, which is kind of interesting, right? It has a tiny weighting. I mean, like minuscule, barely impacts the ETF, but it's in there, which is kind of interesting. But I can't remember if coin is. I'd have to go double check the ETF basket. It's like I remember it was on like one of the last pages of the ETF. Super, super low weighting. NVIDIA powering through, continuously grinding higher, looking pretty solid. SLV now up 1.5%. So your semiconductors, your big boy semiconductors are holding steady. Broadcom, NVIDIA. All right, another 10-minute candle low here on WTI crude. It's now down 0.56%, melting into that pre-market low. The markets should continue to grind here, guys. Crude oil is falling a little bit sharper now. Just a little bit. What else do we have going on? CoreWeave, that's up 9.2%. NIO up 8. Intel's having a great day. That's up 1.9. EOSC's green. OGN, that's ripping. AMD, wow, AMD's up 4.15%. That's a strong day. And Marvell's ripping. And Marvell's chart is crazy. Getting parabolic. Service now, guys, down another 6.5%. That is just carnage. Absolute carnage. Wow. Jeez. Tempting. Anyone buying Service Now down here? It's had 3-bar surge in 3 days. Service Now has fallen about 21% in 3 days, guys. And this is on the back of the S&P being green. Holy moly. Wild stuff, man. That's why this market, it's showing some incredible strength. I mean, it's wild because if this IGV basket can bounce like 10 to 20%, where we would be on the Qs is probably crazy high. Crazy high. Um, DQ5NX wanting to look at Axon. Yeah, Axon, guys, is getting wrecked. This is usually a quality stock that gets bid up with force. Not a bad spot. This is a back test of your previous breakout zone here in August of 2024. So there is some support here, and this has got the backing of a lot of the police force, governments, body cams. Wow. Did they lose contracts or something? This is wild. A nice positive divergence. Yep. Yeah, I don't mind you trying to accumulate it. Just understand though that if you're looking at trading shares here, not a bad spot to try to build into a position. You're undercutting that weekly 200 moving average. If it was me personally trading it, I would at least divide your position into 3 tranches. Start nibbling here. Give yourself room to add below 330 and then 300. More like 270. So between 340 and 270, I think is your buy zone. But yeah, Axon is getting smoked. That's wild. That is crazy. Good observation there. Thanks for bringing that up. It's actually not a bad setup. Let me look at this monthly chart. Look at the S&P grinding here. Wow, man. Does anyone know why they're falling? I haven't done a deep dive, or I don't know if there's any news, but that's crazy. Interesting. All right, the market is still showing some positive structure. Crude oil really getting sold into here, guys. WTI coming in hard. It's now down 0.86%, going for that pre-market low. And you can see as it's approaching that pre-market low, SPY is grinding higher, trying to get into that new high of day zone. QQQ trying to push higher itself. So you're starting to build a little bit of a negative divergence intraday on SPY. So the risk is starting to get a little bit riskier on the long side, chasing price action up here. One more sweep of the high into that pre-market high could be a nice short opportunity intraday. Nike struggling today, CRM still struggling, IGV still down 3.21. IGV's barely bounced off of the lows. Bank of America's firming up. You got JP Morgan trying to firm up. Micron's still down 0.7. Nvidia's ripping though, that's up 2%. Bitcoin's still acting very well. All 3 indices are green. Let's scroll through the master list here. Yeah, Coinbase is struggling a lot today. SMH is up 2%. So another day where semis are just eating all of the gains. That's what's keeping this market up again. Oh my goodness, Pan W is down 9.2%. What the heck? Why didn't anyone tell me? Oh my goodness. So that cybersecurity pop was one big old liquidity sweep. Oh my goodness. No wonder software is getting smoked. I didn't even know Palo Alto was down this big. 9.2%, guys. What is happening? Was there a breach, a hack? Oh my goodness. That's crazy. That is wild. Oracle, that's only down 1%, but Crowd 2, let's look at CrowdStrike. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I remember we watched those breakout intradays and look at that. It's a big unwind. That's what you call a bullish trap. I mean, the amount of people that piled in on chasing, thinking there was a bottom. No wonder software is getting annihilated. Claude's Mythos supposedly will rock the cyber. You know, this Anthropic Claude, I mean, oh my goodness. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's probably going to be one of the biggest flops ever. Work out the kinks. They're getting blocked by the government left, right, and center. Then you had yesterday Powell and Vicente coming out warning about it. I mean, it is what it is. So this market continues to show resiliency as crude oil softens up and heading to that pre-market low. We're almost taking out the highs. Nice big bounce in Palantir there. I still remain long Palantir, guys. The 130 zeros sat through. Entry wasn't the greatest, I'll be honest, but that's okay because we're getting a nice fat stick right now, and now we're green, guys. We are green on our PLTR calls. Look at that. I think there's news coming. Software's going to rip here. PLTR, look at that. Making that bullish reversal. We are printing on our calls right now. Baby, let's go. Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Software IGV is probably going to get a big fat stick. I don't know if there's news on PLTR. I'm still kind of waiting to see. But that was beautiful pop. That was a really healthy pop, guys. Again, I'm sized appropriately. I'm looking for it to go green. I'm not really trimming. If it goes back down to low, so be it. But I'm holding. I want to see this one go for its gap fill. I want to get these 130 calls in the money before I even look to trim. But right now we're up 60% on these calls, and they're ripping even higher here. Let's go, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, it's probably wise to take a small trim, guys, if you're long PLTR. Probably wise. I'm going to sell half, move stop to break even. All right, just got a sell order at 85 cents, guys. Boom. From 38 cents to 85 cents on first trim. Look at this, guys. Called this out live here. Look at PLTR go, baby. Oh, we just printed, man. Huge gains there. Look at this, guys. Look at this move. Beautiful, man. Here we go. Trump tweeting about Palantir. Thank you very much. Oh, Trump saved my ass. Boom. Guys, that was a 125% gain on Palantir calls. Boom. 125% gain on first trim. Let's get paid. That's what I'm talking about, man. Fucking pick the Trump stock. Let's go. Palantir should go green here, guys. It's looking like it. But here's the problem. We do have the US dollar and crude trying to bounce a little bit here. I'm going to put a stop loss at break even, which is 38 cents on my Palantir. Please hit that like button, guys. Whether it's skill or luck, I'll take luck any time of the day, baby. Come on, rip it to 130, man. Rip it to 130, baby. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Our only long day trade, and we get a fucking presidential tweet. Bang. So still long Palantir, half the position. Stops are at break even. We still got some runners, guys. Still got some runners. That's amazing. So my principal is out of the trade. It's risk-free for now, and I could let this position go to zero and I'd still make money. So that's the beautiful thing about selling half and letting the runners go, right? That's the proper risk management. I only had 10 contracts. I wish I had more, but still got 5 runners. Let's see where we can take it. We are seeing IGV trying to firm up as well. So QQQ could easily push to 614 if IGV and software starts to make a comeback, right? We're still down 2.75% on IGV, but remember, Palantir is the biggest weighting in IGV. Then it's Microsoft, and those two stocks have firmed up a little bit. So they need to do a little bit more heavy lifting here, but some of your big components in IGV are trying. Obviously, you still got a ton of weakness in CRM, ServiceNow, Crowd, PanW, but it's a good start. You need the big boys to start doing some heavy lifting before you even stand a chance. Yeah, that is a good quote. Nick saying you have to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good. Absolutely. Look at that volume on PLTR, guys. That was a move and a half, baby. It was weird. I was wondering why they were taking it down lower than my original level. I was like, that's just nasty. They're getting really, really nasty. But it looks like it's going to put in a potential daily chart bottoming tail. 130.50 takes you to the gap fill. And then that first Fibonacci retrace takes you to 130, 80-ish. And honestly, the way this market is set up, Palantir could potentially make a move to 135, guys. 135. We'll see. Let's see where we can go. Microsoft back above its prior day highs, starting to pump here. Crude oil still showing pretty decent weakness. A lot of weakness. Send it lower, baby. Send oil lower. What else we got going on? Jets ETF, guys, that's only up 0.17%. That might be a nice arbitrage opportunity with crude oil. Usually Jets can make a really big intraday push with crude oil starting to roll over a little bit here. Look at Palantir go. Look at it go. Wow. Let's go, guys. Look at Palantir moving, man. Long at 38 cents. Almost pushing up 300% there on that pop. Feels good to be in a winning position there. PLTR. Fuck, that was a 10x trade there. I saw the contracts dip all the way down to what was, I think, 15 cents, 18 cents at the lows. Hopefully, I mean, some of you, if you took it, you probably got a better entry than me. PLTR, guys. I, uh, I did have a call with Trump, and he told me to go long before in the pre-market. He says, I'm going to make a tweet about Palantir, so you better load the boat. Yeah, Trump saying Palantir has proven to have a great war-fighting capabilities and equipment. Yep. So yeah, it was nice. The phone call with Trump worked out quite well. Still working out. All right, Trump, now I need you to say something about my Microsoft, man. Come on. But you know what, guys? 100% a day keeps the doctor away. And we're still ripping on PLTR, baby. Let's see. I'm gonna sit tight with these calls. Again, the trade for me is risk-free, so understand that, guys. I can't lose on this PLTR, so I'm just gonna see how much I can squeeze out of this one. All I'm gonna do is keep a break-even stop loss on the rest of my contracts, but I think I can get a potential monstrous gain here. I mean, I'm gonna be greedy. I am gonna be greedy because I know Software's oversold. I know Palantir's oversold. Trump tweeting about it. Um, I think that I'm gonna try to squeeze out a 500% or something like here, maybe a thou wow. Can we get 1,000%? If Palantir was up to probably 132.50, that might be 1,000. I don't know. I'd have to see. I'd have to see what these contracts go to. So 0.38 plus 1,000%. So I would need it to go to $4.18 a contract. That would be 1,000% gain on my PLTR calls. Right now we're at 94 cents. So pump it up, baby. Send us higher. Take me to the promised land. I want a steak dinner. I want a steak dinner. Nothing better than at least winning your day trades. You know what I hate on a Friday? I hate when the portfolio's red. And one of the big things, I mean, sometimes you can't really control your swing trades, but the worst thing for me and Psyche, I hate when I lose day trades on a Friday. Absolutely hate it. I was already getting salty with that Palantir decline, but thank God. Oh, something's happening here. Oh, big spike in oil, guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Something's happening. I don't know if there's news. There's definitely news, guys. I don't know what the hell that was, but oil just got a fat candle bid. Come on, man. What are you doing? What's going on? Are they just trying to shake people out before we get a big short squeeze? But crude's trying to pop here. Crude is getting rude. Wow, I'm hungry today. What happened? What's the news? What is the news? Getting bought back up again. Where did that drop come from? I don't know what that was. Fucking taking my Palantir gains. Bastards. Does anyone have any headlines, guys? I'm still not really seeing anything just yet, but the dollar and crude did get a nice pop there, which is not what I want to see. Forcing everything lower here. Weird. Very weird. Nothing so far. Yeah. If I see something, I'll let you guys know. And please do the same. Wow. Almost gonna get stopped out here at break even on these PLTR 130s. This is why you trim. Fuck, I was talking 1,000%ers. Bullshit. There ain't no 1,000%er coming today. Crude oil, big spike. Back to the green side on WTI, right back to its opening range high level. What is going on here? What did you guys do to the market? Did you sell everything, Polymom? You caused that little decline. It's funny. It's going to be interesting to see how this a SpaceX IPO affects the market. I mean, a 2 trillion IPO or 1.75 trillion valuation. S&P right now has about 60 trillion in assets underneath it. So SpaceX IPO is likely going to strip away, 0.5% from Nvidia, 0.5% from Microsoft, 0.5% from Apple. I don't know what weighting they're going to give it once it gets added, but probably pretty big considering it's a massive size. All right, what the hell is happening, man? Why are you guys selling this tape? Microsoft, guys, is still trying. I still think that there's a lotto to 378, considering the options chain is split into the 250s. That's probably 377.50 calls, or you'll probably be your best bet. I mean, if you're crazy, you can take the 380s, but they popped Palantir. I feel like Microsoft's due for something here, and it's trying to consolidate and diverge. You know what? I'm gonna take a lotto on Microsoft, guys. Right now, the 377.50 calls are 19 cents. I am going to take a 377.50 call on MSFT. 10 contracts, I'm in. I am in Microsoft 377.50 call. This is a lotto. Please understand that. Let's play ball. Come on. Still long Palantir. Stop is at break even. They almost wicked me out there. Almost. But not quite. Crude oil, though, is still strong, so this is risky trying to go long when crude is trying to pop back to the green side. IWM is back to the dark side. Your Dow is still negative, so it's struggling. Come on. That's exactly what he would say about Microsoft. Microsoft, best stock ever. No stock like it. Yeah. It's probably going to lose on this freaking trade. And I can't believe they're so gnarly. All right, what else we got going on here? QQQ is still holding some positive structure. You're getting some small sell signals on the 5-minute chart. Tiny sell signal on the 15. Hourly's mixed. 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hours also getting a bit of a potential sell. Man. Fucking Microsoft is now losing that pre-market low again. IGV still absolutely dead, creating a bear flag. All right, I'm probably going to have to cut these Microsoft calls. I'm going to give it another minute here. I'm going to have to cut it for a little bit of a loss. I'm not liking that it's getting rejected here. Let's see where this 10-minute candle closes. One more minute I'll give it. It's trying to hang on to pre-market low, but if it closes under pre-market low, MSFT on this next 1 minute, I'll cut it. Right now it is defending it. So if we get a 10-minute candle close, guys, so 54 seconds, I will cut it for a small loss. But if it still closes above, I'll hold on to it. I'm still thinking they could pop it up a little bit. Come on, baby. Palantir still sitting at the upper range of that impulse candle. All right, they're defending Microsoft, so I'm still in it. Hold it. Hold it. I don't want to sell you. Crude is still strong. Dixie still strong. Ah, you fucking snake. They're dropping it, guys. Come on, save it. Save it. 7 seconds. Save it. No. Don't do that to me, Microsoft. Man. All right, let's see. Come on, get it back above it. All right, guys. I'm going to cut my Microsoft calls here for a 3-cent loss. Just cut them for a 3-cent loss. Sorry about that, guys. Lost pre-market low. Not good. Fucking snakes, man. They just do not want to give Microsoft any love. It's wild. Palantir still trying to make a push. Still have some runners. Come on, PLTR. Get to 130. Do it for me. All right, you're seeing financials, seeing a little bit more selling. Bank of America, JP Morgan. Crude oil, though, getting rejected off that opening range high. So that's a positive sign. That big candle pop tried. Nice little bounce on Axon starting. Ticker car, guys, getting rejected. That's down 6.7% today. CRM is still dog shit right now. Micron down 0.4. Nvidia is just powering. I mean, oh my goodness, Nvidia. What an absolute monster. SOX is just ridiculous. So the SOXX did hit my upside target today. It is crazy extended. That being said, Nvidia still looks like it has a touch more upside to go. Let's look at AMD. Yeah, AMD also. Wow. Broadcom. Filthy monster. Intel. These semis are crazy. Crazy, man. They are wild. All right, Palantir trying to push up again. Did give you a nice backtest entry to get long this 130 calls there. Almost at the same price as me. QQQ, big buy program again. Fuck you, Microsoft. Can't believe you can't even fucking rally. When these semis are having 2, 3, 4, 5% days fucking every day, you can't even get 1%? Man. PLTR still trying. Crude oil still trying to move higher. IGV still bear flagging at the lows. Micron's clawing back here. Or the market's looking a little bit vulnerable here again, guys. The dollar is ripping. Crude oil is starting to pump. I'm about to get stopped out of PLTR for break even on the runners. We're looking a little bit more vulnerable here. Crude is trying to pop here. Not the best sign right now. QQQ still holding a support zone pretty well intraday, but it's getting a little bit long in the tooth. Slightly long. Wow, PLTR is still trying to hold here. Interesting. Maybe it's trying to carve out an inverted head and shoulders for a late day squeeze. I wonder. Still got the runners. All right, nice push on PLTR. Still long, guys. 38 cents. Never stopped me out. Holding key levels. This could be setting up for a nice potential inverse head and shoulders intraday. It's got a lot of work to do, but let's just see. The upside, if this pattern were to trigger, let's just do a quick little rough calculation. Wow. That would be a move to 134 and change. That would be wild. That would be crazy. Let me do some quick math on how much our calls would be up. If that were to happen, that would be wild. We would actually get a fat pump in tape. Let me do some math here. PLTR 130, 0 DTEs. We're in at 38 cents. 0.38. I got 5 left. Big buy program in the tape. Yeah, wow. If we hit that breakout target, that would roughly be 1200%. 134 gets us 1000%. That would be nice. Come on, 134 PLTR, pump it. This high pivot is 132.40-ish, so that would be about 700%. I'd take that. I'd take that any day of the week. Pump it up. Pump it up, PLTR. I'll take 1000%. Do it for me. End my Friday off on a nice note so I can buy a filet mignon this weekend. Or a ribeye. Crude oil still getting rejected off of that opening range high. WTI is teetering between positive and negative territory. CRM still dog shit. IGV still dog shit. Micron is firmed up. That's now green. Interestingly enough, guys, even with that little bit of a pop in crude oil, XLE, XOM, a lot of those energy stocks didn't really react. So maybe that's telling me that that was a little bit of a liquidity sweep designed to run the stops because, I mean, you had a quick drop and you're right back up. So I still would like to see Qs touch the 613.51 to 614 area. That's where I think that there's a better potential short opportunity. Nice. Come on, PLTR. Break out here. Almost back up 100% on these runners for PLTR. Come on, Palantir. Rip it. Good to see our Lincoln Electric, LECO, continues to try to go green here, guys. This one's been a powerhouse, consolidating quite nicely. It looks like a very solid daily chart, building a base right along that EMA 113 where you previously had a breakdown and rejection zone. So that long trade has been working out quite nicely. Let's look at our BABA position. BABA still in the money on our calls. Man, I want this car to fucking come in hard, man. Come on, car. One day too soon. Bullshit. Come on, Palantir. Break this. Trigger this inverted head and shoulders. V-shaped bottom. Go green. Give me a daily chart bottoming tail. To think the weekly price action levels, guys, on PLTR, the weekly high at the start of the week, Palantir was at 156. That is wild, man. Absolutely wild. Microsoft still sucking on the session. IGV, oh man, if that turns into be another 10-minute bear flag, that would just be filthy. Oh, I'm hungry, guys. What should I have for lunch? All right, Microsoft's trying to push back above 370, 250. WTI, pretty big inflection point. We don't want to see it get through that 91.97 zone opening range high, because if it gets above that, then it can squeeze to pre-market high, which is 93.38. So I'm hoping that they reject. I'm hoping they reject crude here. Nvidia is still powering. Apple up 0.3, Google up 0.34. Microsoft is your only mag that's red. Go figure. Amazon ripping, that's up 2.36. Meta up 0.61. Tesla up 0.36. Still got your weakness in your banks. Fuck, I still think we could get another squeeze higher here. I can't believe this IGV sector, guys. I can't believe this. Oh, she was making a joke. She was making a joke. Man, Nvidia is just eating everything today. Holy moly. Nvidia is just a beast right now. Oh god, man. Pan W, absolute horrendous. Is anyone buying Pan W after this pullback? Still looks like it's gonna go lower. That's a problem. That's a nasty breakdown. Gap fill minimum. What about crowd? CRWD. That one looks like it's gonna go lower too. It's wild. Crude is still trying to trickle higher. Service now. Wow. Look at that service now. That's wild. Down another 8%. I'm glad I didn't start a position on that one. CRM though, wow, too. CRM's just getting annihilated. It's just disgusting. To me, for CRM, really the next support trend line that we can observe, it goes back to this pivot in 2016 through your 2023 pivot low. That's where it looks like it could potentially now go to. Q's still looking constructive, like it wants to go higher. Guys, so this is what could potentially happen to Palantir. You look at Oracle, it's gone from red to green. Look at that nice little daily chart bottoming tail, liquidity sweep from a major pivot low. This is why software could try to firm up. You're getting some glimmers, guys. You're getting some glimmers of hope in software. Duolingo's trying. That's actually green on the session. Let's look at Intuit is another big one. Intuit's still absolutely getting crushed here, but again, another one into that double bottom zone. Let's look at Adobe. That one's still, I hate that stock. I ain't gonna touch Adobe until they patch their software. Adobe is, stay away from Adobe, guys. Literally, there's so many people scamming Adobe for free software, including myself. They've got massive issues. Adobe's trash. Though they're embedded everywhere, their numbers are so inflated. You literally can get anything for free on Adobe if you just create a new email. Try their trial for 7 days and then you cancel. It's like I can't believe how they. It's ridiculous. Adobe's just nasty. But Oracle's showing some strength. That's positive. Let's look back at PLTR. I'd love to see PLTR go green here. Come on. You know, it's not a bad level down here to swing trade PLTR. I was actually looking for a little bit lower to build a swing trade position. I was thinking it was going to hit this 119 area, but it might be ready here. Let's try and. I'm gonna get some lunch here, guys. I'll be right back. Again, we're still looking pretty bullish here. Crude still can't get above its opening range high, which is positive for the tape. Markets are doing that good old-fashioned float and grind. What's interesting is the VIX got a little bit of a bounce, but now it looks like we're going to resume the next leg lower in the VIX. So they're still crushing that. But the markets get still a little bit long in the tooth, specifically semis. So I'm hoping that we can get a rotation out of semis into software, which shouldn't necessarily crash the market, but you could still see a little bit of softening in price. But watch that 613.51 to 614 resistance on Qs. QQQ. Nice pop in Microsoft. Come on, Palantir. Rip it. Still seeing a nice continuation push on Palantir. I like it. I like it a lot. Software is trying to bounce back. IGV trying to claw back some of its gains. It's down still 2.5%. Still a nice lotto trade, guys. IGV, there's a lot of components that are firming up. You got Oracle that's turning green. You've got Palantir that's well off of its lows. Microsoft's trying to claw back here above its pre-market low. So the big components in IGV are trying to get a little bit of positive action here. So there's still obviously a lot of strength in tech right now, which is why maybe it might try to filter back into Microsoft and the likes. Here goes Palantir, guys. Don't sleep on our PLTR. Like I said, I did the math. 132.40-ish, this high pivot should get us 700%. 134 on Palantir should be 1,000%. And if we were to get to this 135, that's about a 1,200% trade. So a lot of you have had plenty of time to try to pick up a little bit. Here's the only issue I see. Crude oil is ripping right now. WTI is flying through its opening range high. This is a problem here. Uh-oh. I don't like that. Why is that US? Why is oil flying right now? What is going on? What is going on with crude oil? I hope they reject it. Nvidia is flying. Yep. Nvidia's up almost 3% on the session. Beast mode. Absolute beast mode. Nvidia is single-handedly lifting the QQQ right now. So it seems that Nvidia is pulling money from software. It's pulling money from small caps, and it's pulling money from financials today. Looks like. Q's almost tapped that 613.50 area. Almost, man. Big spot. Come on, Palantir. Get to 130. Take our calls on the money. I wonder what you'd be up. Palantir calls are trying to climb. They're almost building a new base. All right, your US dollar selling here. So maybe the pop in oil is a little bit of a fake one. We'll see. Sec here, guys. It's a rejection, guys, on WTI. We are seeing crude oil back underneath that opening range high. Looked like maybe a small liquidity sweep. That should be positive yet again for the session or the tape. This is wild chart, eh? Semi SMH. So crude oil, guys, is back above opening range high. Not what we want to be seeing. QQQ. Oh shit, Qs did hit that massive resistance level, guys. It pierced into that 613.51 to 614 area. Yep, did hit that. Definitely some resistance up here. Definitely. Nice push on Palantir, guys. Really strong push. Big boost on our calls. The 130s are ripping. Okay, guys, you can see the rejection off of that key level that we discussed in the pre-market. Doesn't mean we're going to flat out reject hard. I mean, it could. Could be a big rejection, but we're still holding okay for now. That was another hourly higher close for the Qs, guys. So markets are still giving us higher highs, higher lows, which means that sell-offs should still get bought up a little bit. All right, guys, we're seeing some pretty hard selling. Software yet again breaking down, cracking to the downside. Pretty hard sell side pressure, guys, coming into the S&P. You're mainly seeing some semi sell pressure, software obviously selling. Google's rolled over to the negative side. IWM has rolled over to the negative side. And once again, crude oil did get a 10-minute candle close, two closes above its opening range high, and it's currently working on its third one. And you're seeing the markets react pretty negatively here. So tick for tick, we look at crude structure. First things first, I mean, we look at this battle zone that we've been trading in. We're trying to get above it intraday. So that's a critical resistance point. Market doesn't want to get above. Through that opening range, you can see how basically when crude oil got above its opening range high here intraday, that's when SPY rejected its opening range. Yeah, pretty nasty. Pretty good relative strength here, guys. We are seeing Palantir holding steady even as the markets are selling here. All right, so a couple interesting observations, guys. Software is obviously getting annihilated still. However, there are some signs of some small intraday glimmers of hope. Oracle keeps pushing. It's green. Just made a new high of day literally right now. Palantir still trying to push and grind higher here in the short term. So there's some there's a little bit of pockets of strength in software trying, but overall it's still getting murked. Microsoft down 0.72%. I mean, it's not going to bottom without that big boy firming up here. S&P starting to roll over pretty sharply as well.